Hi, brother. It's me, Charles Oliveira. Happy birthday to you. Let's go.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our king, Charles Oliveira, is back tomorrow against a last minute step in from Mateusz Gamrot. As you all know, it was going to be Rafael Fiziev, but injury to him, and Gamrot has to step in. And this is only months after he got fucking starched by the GOAT, Ilia Topuria. I don't mean to start the Topuria glaze this early, uh, but it is a Charles Oliveira fight week. I think he's the professional out there. If he thinks he can come back already, especially now that it's Gamrot, I feel like the fear of getting knocked out is a lot less now. But if he feels he can step in and come back this early, uh, he can, I believe in him. We all believe in him. Uh, and it's a Charles Oliveira fight week, man. We can't complain. If anyone out there is complaining for Charles Oliveira fight week, I don't even want to hear it. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Um, Actually, before we get straight into it, I don't want mean to throw some negativity as soon as you clicked on this video, but up until like the last 3 or 4 fights, this card is kind of shit. I'm not gonna lie. I think the UFC had a great opportunity to put in guys like I don't know off the top of my head, maybe like Felipe Lima, maybe even a Vinicius Oliveira, just another fight in there in that main card to kind of get the Brazilians out there. But I like what we have in that main card. Like I said, those last 3 or 4 fights are good. So without further ado, now let's jump straight into it. First matchup we have Joel Álvarez versus Simon Oliveira. I mean, if we're really being honest with ourselves, like this is a matchup. Like these guys have a combined 6 fights in the UFC and have combined 1 win. So kind of tells you all you really need to know. I mean, nothing too impressive from either of them. Lacerda, more of a sub artist. He's had a lot of subs before he came into the UFC. Decent kickboxing. And that fight against Stanman, I mean, he didn't look too bad. He held his own, but like I said, nothing crazy. Oliveira, I mean, only win is in the Contender Series, so if you want to count that as a UFC win, you can. Likes to grapple, likes to take people down. Not the best striking I've ever seen. We haven't seen him too consistently in the UFC. I mean, the only really thing you can say is that he does have more experience. He has been in there with some better guys than Lacerda. Uh, Pretty low level fight. No one really cares. But with that being said, I think I'm gonna go with Simon Oliveira by decision. Like I said, he has more experience in the UFC. He's been in there with the guy. He's been in there with the guys. He's been in there with the guys. So I think that's ultimately what's gonna sway me to pick him. Uh, Really could go either way. I mean, a lot of these fights, I could really flip a coin and whoever it lands on, I would pick. But I'm gonna go Simon Oliveira. I'm gonna bank on the experience in the UFC. Next fight, oh boy, this is a banger. This is a real banger, and I debated whether I should have a separate video for just this fight, but we're just gonna stick it in here. Uh, when it comes to Palastri, first of all, I mean she does have the home advantage being in Brazil. She's an LFA champ. That fight against Lupita Godinez, I mean, she did get beat pretty easily, but I remember that third round she kind of pushed the pace a little bit, so she showed she was durable because Lupita was kind of piecing her up. So uh, that shows some kind of level. She's more of a grappler. She is going to be faster. I mean, I'll put it like this: she's not fucking 40 years old as Carolina is. But I mean, Carolina, she's been in the title fight against Joanne Jacek way back in the day. Like, if I'm saying that name, you already know how old. Like, no disrespect on the females, right? We don't care about the age, but you know, she's older. She is old for the UFC, 40 years old. very much past her prime. If this was during her prime, I think she would destroy Pilastre, but that's not where we're at. She's been a win-loss fighter in her last 10. Uh, she'll go on these streaks of wins, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 losses. As you see in her last fight, I think it was more of a win streak before that, but then has lost her last 2. I mean, she lost to Lucindo, but unfortunately, if you saw that fight, I mean, she just did not look like she was ever in there. But yeah, like I said, winner of this fight, who the fuck cares? I hope you get a finish. That would be sweet from the Pilastre side, just because she's younger. But just the fact that she's not 40 and a bit younger is gonna be a bit faster. Showed durability. I'm gonna pick her to win by decision. Should be one of those WMMA stinkfests that we all know and love. But like I said, man, like we could have a couple more good fights. I think they just love to stick Brazilians in there like they love to stick Mexicans in the UFC Noche cards. And I mean, I get it. That's who your audience is. But yeah. Come on, Dana. Tee the fuck up. All right, moving on. Lucas Rocha against Stuart Nickel. I mean, talk about a marauder versus... Nah. I mean, when it comes to Lucas Rocha, we haven't seen these guys too much in the UFC. And when stuff like this happens, I think it's kind of hard to predict who can win just because, in the regional scene, everyone's going to look good. All of these guys are going to be pretty dominant in the regional scene. So, but yeah, like I said, Rocha, good striking, and it's pretty funny. He depends on his power, not necessarily to knock guys out because this is a flyweight division, but just to kind of stun them and kind of keep him moving back. He did fight Carpenter, who was also fighting in this card, and I mean he didn't look terrible, but he lost comfortably to Carpenter. Carpenter is a pretty good fighter though, so there's something to say there. But yeah, I was gonna say Rocha, but none of these guys have really get into the grappling. Like to get into the grappling, I mean, we saw Jesus Aguilar, fucking sub Stuart Nickel, so hasn't looked impressive either in the UFC. He is a bit of a good striker. Nickel is, but he did get subbed easily. I think if any of these guys takes it to the mat, which I don't think they will, they could have a bit of an advantage if they did practice grappling. I mean, Nickel does have a lot more takedowns, but I don't know. I don't think he's that good on the ground. He does look a bit more composed also on the feet, so like I'm sure you could tell, like, these... I want to make this interesting for you guys, like I am starting out, but I mean, like, look at these two fuckers, like, they're trying to mean mug each other right now on, like, through the screen, through the Halo MMA video that they don't know that they're in, but I hope it's a good fight. I hope for a finish, but ultimately I'm gonna pick Stuart Nickel by decision. Like I said, I just think he's a bit more composed. I think at some point one of them's gonna go to the ground, and if one of them is, I think it will be Nickel. So I hope it's not all these stinkfests that I'm thinking. Like, all of these have been decisions. I hope there's a finish in there. Maybe a knockout, but it's two lighter weight class guys that are high level, and then a women MMA fight. So not surprised if there's not any finishes. Oh boy, like, talk about the people's main event. Bia Mesquita. Like, what do you guys know about Bia Mesquita? Hey, if you don't know, you will after this fight. I'm just telling you guys right now. I mean, Irina, Alex Shiva, like, guys, this is the people's main event. I would really like to break down the X's and O's with you right now. I know you really want to know about Irina's outside foot battle. that, I know she loves. I know she's studying that tape with Corey Sandhagen. Especially with Bia Mesquita. Actually getting into some breakdown right now. She is a really good grappler. She has a big BJJ background. She was an LFA champ, if that, matters at all. All these girls would be LFA champs, I guess, if they were not in the UFC. All her wins in MMA though are by sub, and I'm kind of tempted to pick her by sub, but I think, and she's definitely gonna try it for the sub when she's in there. I like Shiva. I mean, she's like your classic WMMA fighter, like pretty good or decent all around, but nothing really, not really special anywhere. You might want to grab your third beer, second beer at this point when this one's going on. But like I said, look out for the Mesquita sub. I mean, ultimately though, I can't really pick it. Fuck it. I have decision up there. I can't really change it here at the spot, but let's go Bia Mesquita by sub. I mean, she's shown she cancel people in the regional scene, so just to switch it up. I know it says decision there, but let's go by sub. Uh, yeah, put that one in your parlay and thank me for the money. Moving on, we got Victor Petrino against Thomas Peterson. I mean, guys, like these are the fights you do want to see. Like, come on, like stop lying to yourself. You know you want to see these fights. You know you're gonna sit your ass down and watch them, which I probably am, but like no one wants to see these fights, man. Like, actually, this is the first fight where I'm like, okay, I'm like somewhat interested. Two heavyweights. I mean, you got Vitor Petrino. He's got he got subbed by Anthony Smith. That's his last one. That's Anthony Smith's last one in the UFC. That's kind of laughable. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Anthony fucking Smith, fucking curl up in a ball and stop fighting Anthony Smith. Like, he's such low level these days, but he did get subbed by Smith, so he said fuck that. And then especially after getting knocked out by Jacoby Smith or Dustin Jacoby, he's like fuck that. I'm gonna move up to heavyweight, go up with these blobs, and lo and behold, he's got blob number 57 on UFC 5 fucking creative fighter. That's who his opponent is. So he looked pretty good against Lane. I guess Lane has gotten beat by everyone. Austin Lane has. He did sub him. He has good ground game. I think he will threaten to take down Petrino will, but he has decent striking as well. He has ability to knock people out as he did to Bukowskis. I believe he's just going to be the faster guy. I mean, fucking look at Thomas Peterson, man. I mean, he is the definition of a blob. He is the definition of a win-loss fighter. I will say, though, he did get knocked out by the GOAT, Shamil Gaziev. So just look out for that. He's going to be a little crafty in there. He beat Mohammed Usman, who's not in this card anymore. He pulled out against Volta Walker. He was scared of that heel hook. But yeah, I mean, I hope we can get a finish, and that is what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Vitor Petrino by knockout. I think here's how I think it's gonna go. I think Vitor Petrino is gonna shoot a takedown, and he might sub him the first time this goes to the ground. But if he doesn't, I think they're gonna get back up. He's gonna fake the takedown, do some feints, and then maybe an overhand right, over the top of fucking Peterson's big ass head, and he's gonna get the knockdown. So I'm banking on Peterson not getting subbed as soon as the fight gets to the ground, but he might. He hasn't looked that good. Moving on, this is a fight where, I'm excited to see Clayton Carpenter back in the octagon. When you talk about Filio, though, he has a good win against Ode Osborne. He got subbed by Muhammad Makayev, which is nothing to be ashamed about, but BJJ is kind of his own game, so. But like I said, Makayev, really good fighter. I really do think it's a shame he's not in the UFC, but if he's gonna be a dickhead to deal with, let's not go there. His striking is very mediocre. Um, at best, it could be mediocre. He can be taken down, as we saw against Makayev. He did lose his last fight against Nascimento. I mean, he didn't really look good at all, as opposed to Clayton Carpenter, who has beat Edgar Chairez in the Dana White Contender Series, and that's aging very well. Chairez going on a run of his own. His next 2 fights were also finishes. And then he did have a decent fight against Ulanbekov. Ulanbekov did a great job of mixing up the striking with the grappling, which Carpenter also does. But, he just did a little better on that night. And but even still, I think he looked good in that fight. I think we saw flashes of what he can be, and I hope he's improved, So I think just with the eye test, we can see who's looked more impressive. Which is why I'm going to pick Clayton Carpenter. And I'm actually going to pick him by sub. I think he's going to piece up Filio on the feet. And either Filio's going to be thinking it's going to be a stand-up game and still be, focusing on not getting hit. And then that's when Carpenter will sneak a takedown in and get the sub. Filio has shown that he can get subbed against, like I said, high level in Makayev, but I believe Clayton Carpenter is pretty high level. I think he's going to go on a good run here in this division, in the flyweight division. So I'm hoping he can take him down and kind of work his way with him. He's got, like I said, he's got good striking. He's pretty good all around. And I think he's going to get it done by sub. But I'd take any finish or a dominant decision. Moving on. Guys, we're talking about some bangers. We're talking about some bangers here. No, we're not. Dana, get your shit together, bro. Like, there's a lot of good UFC fighters, and obviously from Brazil. This could have been I think this just could have been a better card. I think, like I said, these fights don't get till the last 3 or 4. But when it comes to Lucas Almeida, I mean, all his fights before the UFC, to be fair to him, were by finish. He lost to Salober in the Contender Series. Nothing to be ashamed about. Salober is a pretty good fighter, although he did just lose to what's this unc's name? Johnson. What's this? You know who I'm talking about. The unk, 40 years old. He was like a plus 800. I can't believe Zellweger lost that, man. I mean, I had more expectations on him, which maybe says a lot about Almeida that he lost to him. I think Zellweger will bounce back. He's a really good striker. But let's not get in there about that right now. Almeida is a bit of a win-loss fighter, which is more than Michael Oswald can say, at least in his 2 UFC appearances. First one was Bogdan Grad in the Dana White Contender Series. She also lost, and Balazioki, he also lost to him. I mean, like I said, guys, I mean, I could really flip a fucking coin here and kind of choose which guy I think is going to win. A lot of these fights are pretty low level, which, in fight nights, you are going to get a lot of those, but all these guys are like decision merchants, and I'm just not really liking what I see. As well, I think the only reason why he might be in the UFC is because he had to step in short notice. I believe it was short notice versus Balazioki, so I think that says a lot. But ultimately, I'm gonna go with home guy, Lucas Almeida, by decision. I think he just mix it up a little bit better. Has better striking, I believe. So, yeah, decision win. Maybe 29-28, whatever. Who the fuck cares, bro? Moving on. We have Ricardo Ramos against Canofi. I mean, I swear all of these guys, like all of these matchups looks the exact fucking same. Like it's a Brazilian fighter who's kind of a win-loss guy against a foreign guy that hasn't had a lot of success in the UFC, and we're in the main card already, so I'm not too impressed by what's going on here. But Ricardo Ramos, I mean, he knocked out Ayman Zahabi, which that's pretty good. I mean, he's lost to some good names like Jordan and Arosa. He's looked pretty good. He's a win-loss fighter. Again, decent on the ground, and he has great experience in the UFC. He has a spinning elbow finish. That viral clip is crazy. Clip, I'm sure we've all seen. Ofi, I mean, 0-2 in UFC appearances. Just hasn't really looked impressive at all anywhere, any of the arts. He his thing is striking, and he lands 2 significant strikes per minute. At a higher accuracy rate than the Ramos. I know I'm trying to sound Portuguese, but if you watch a Ricardo Ramos fight, you'll see he thinks he's in UFC 5. He like tries to spam all the buttons, spinning elbow, and like it is. I think it's just a funny way to fight, and I think someone at that's not high level, like kind of Olfie, I'll kind of stun him. He'll kind of be like, he's expecting. Well, he won't be expecting, but he's gonna be in there like expecting a jab, expecting a 1-2, and then Ricardo Ramos gonna go in there with the maybe with a flying knee, with a spinning back fist, spamming on the buttons in UFC 5, and I know I'm picking all these Brazilian fighters, but I gotta pick Ricardo Ramos by decision. I think I've been so back and forth with picking guys based on the experience they have in the UFC, and I am picking a lot of the Brazilian fighters, but so if they don't do well, I'm kind of fucked in this prediction video, in my first prediction video. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, who cares, man? Like I could be giving this breakdown, but maybe I just flip the coin for all these fights. You never know. No, I'm kidding. I haven't done that. So if you're here for your bets, I know you fiends are. I've actually watched these guys a little bit. Even if I don't know how to break it down completely yet, just fucking bear with me. Be confident in my picks. I'll get better at breaking shit down. This is my second video ever. This is my first prediction video ever. I actually have to break a fighter down. So just trust me, I will get better at this. And you'll see why you should listen to me. But enough of the yapping. Moving on. This is actually a fight where you're kind of excited again. Maybe just because it's heavyweights. Same thing with the Petrino and Peterson fight. But you have Jonathan Deniz against Mario Pinto. Deniz, I'll give him his props. I mean, he has looked decent. Obviously, he is coming with kickboxing background in that organization, that prayers, and am I forgetting? Whatever it is. He has some decent finishes in the UFC. He's finished Austin. I mean, it's funny. I don't think both of these guys has finished Austin Lane, and Petrino has 2. But I think in those 2, Pinto did look a bit more impressive. Deniz was kind of the first round was I would have given it to Lane, but then he came back and knocked him out. I think Pinto is not like any of these heavyweights. He's actually a composed heavyweight. Actually uses a jab, actually uses a 1-2, and kind of looks fast in there. He looks pretty athletic for a heavyweight. Deniz is more plotty. Not really proven on the ground. I know Pinto has done some good stuff in the regional scene when it comes to the ground game. So I think he'll be able to mix it up and just look like the better fighter. Deniz does have more experience in the UFC, but I mean, if you saw that last fight against fucking Alvin Hines, fucking Mr. Clean, if he added like 100 pounds and like 15% more body fat, like, yeah, he didn't look impressive at all on that. So ultimately, I'm gonna go Mario Pinto by knockout. Actually, I think he's gonna be just faster, quicker fighter, twitchier. He'll actually use his jab. He'll kind of make the knee start to fade, and ultimately, I think he'll get the knockout. So here, let's go, man. An actual fucking good fight, man. Or not a good fight, but people that I'm excited to see in the octagon. I mean, we have Joel Álvarez against Vicente Luque. Vicente Luque, my guy. I don't know what you did to Dana White. I don't know why they're putting you in there with like just guys that, especially after getting knocked out by Buckley. I thought it was impressive that he went in there and sub Garimbo after stunning him like that. Could it have been a fluke? Maybe. Is Garimbo that good? Maybe not. I'm excited to see where he goes. Garimbo does after, but he just didn't look impressive. Old man, not even old man Luque, but past his prime Luque for sure. And he stunned him really quickly like that, and just subbed him. He didn't look good at all. Luque didn't look good at all versus Holland. I mean, his last good win against was Dos Santos. It passed his prime, who knocked him down. Lost to Jeff Neal. I mean, yeah, I don't know what Luque did to deserve Joel Alvarez, but Joel Álvarez, I mean, he's an exciting fighter. He's a fighter you definitely want to turn on your screen and watch. He's good everywhere, on the ground, up top. His only loss in his last couple of fights has been to Arman Tsarukyan, and nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, Arman Tsarukyan is the second best lightweight in the world right now. And yeah, I mean, I think Joel Álvarez is just going to go out there and kind of make Vicente Luque look silly. He also does have lighter man skill. He was fucking 6'3", fighting at 155. That's insane, bro. Like, stick to guys your own size. 6'3" at 155 is fucking crazy. And I think he just couldn't do the weight cut anymore, so that's why he's moving on up. He's gonna be faster, lighter man skill. I mean, Holland, who knows what weight Holland is, but I think Holland is a welterweight actually. But he's gonna be faster than Holland. He's gonna be twitchier. He's gonna be better all around. Have more technique than Holland, which is why I'm gonna pick. Whoa, Mario Pinto. That's not his name. My bad, guys. But this is Joel Álvarez. I'm gonna pick Joel Álvarez by one. I will say I think Luque. I don't know why something's telling me that Luque's gonna survive that first round. And kind of, bring out his craftiness. Everyone's counting him out. He's a huge underdog. I think he's going to survive that first round. And in the second round, kind of be a little more tired. Joel Alvarez is going to have, warm him down a little bit. And he's going to go in there and finish him in the second round pretty early before it gets to the halfway mark. I will say, though, Joel Alvarez just go in there and fucking starch Luque. That's not out of the realm of possibility. That's why I put round 1 or round 2 finish. If you're looking for also a method, I don't really know. It could go anywhere. I mean, you could see that classic. He kind of knocks him down, and then Alvarez goes to the ground and gets the sub to finish him. But just, under 1.5 rounds. I know I'm sounding like a betting fiend right there. But Joel Alvarez is going to get it done. Not Mario Pinto. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna blame my assistant on that one. He's fucking up already. My second video ever. Fuck. Hey. Fuck are you doing, bro? Like, I told you to fix this. Guys, I'm sorry. I'll make sure my assistant gets his consequences for that. Moving on. The co-main event of the evening. Hey guys, this is gonna be an exciting fight. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty excited to see how an older. Not even that much older, but definitely an older guy in Deiveson Figueiredo goes in there against Mateusz Jackson, who has a lot of hype surrounding his name. I mean, Mateusz Jackson is going to have the reach advantage. I think it's tough to say who I think is going to have the speed advantage, because I do think Figueiredo is a little older now. But, put some respect on Figueiredo. I know Jan gives up a lot of the early rounds, especially in a 5-round fight. But he took a round off of Peter Yan. And in that first round, he didn't look terrible against Corey Sandhagen, but he did get subbed. I think it's crazy that he's, these Brazilians, and main event guys, kind of quick turnarounds based on what happened to them in the last fight. But, you talk about Figueiredo, this guy had a quadrilogy fight. Fuck, I gotta get better at saying that. Or this, I guess I'm not gonna say that too much, but he had 4 fights against Moreno, was a dominant flyweight champ before that. And these flyweights, say what you want, these guys are really skilled. And Montel Jackson, I mean, are we really gonna get that hype off of a Daniel Marcos win? Like, he's looked good, he's looked impressive, and I think he will be in there with Figueiredo. I just think it's crazy that a lot of people are counting out Figueiredo like that. I know, like I said, he's coming off of the injury. I'm going to trust the guy that has been in there in the highest level. I mean, if Montel Jackson and Rob Font were to fight, I think it'd be a close fight, and Figueiredo comfortably won. Against Garbrandt, I mean, I think pretty much anyone beats Garbrandt these days. Might be the worst champion in UFC history, but that's a pretty good name to your resume. And Marlon Vera, I mean, I actually don't think he's that good, but I just don't think we've seen Montel Jackson beat anyone or look super impressive against anyone where we could be like, whoa, this guy's going to be the former dominant champ and a guy that maybe wasn't in the fights per se against these 2 top-level guys in Jan and Sandhagen, but he didn't look like he was out of place. And I think Montel Jackson will look out of place if he were to fight these 2. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Most of these fights, these predictions, I'm always going to use MMA math. And MMA math, I think, works 65-70% of the time. And I think with any other sport, it's kind of closer to 80-85. But fucking, I was about to say UFC. MMA is a weird sport, man, because anyone can win at any time. When that being said, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go with Deiveson Figueiredo by decision. Like I said, I mean, he's been in there with the top guys, and I just think he's going to do his thing, mix up the striking with the takedowns. It is a 3-round fight. If it was a 5-round fight, I'd favor Montel Jackson, just because he is a younger fighter and probably a bit more durable at this stage in both of their careers, because Figueiredo has been in some wars. But I think Figueiredo's going to hold up, Shin's going to hold up, and he has good takedown defense. And he'll look good. He'll bounce back. He's going to be at home. He's going to have that drive. A lot of people are counting him out. He's a crazy underdog in this fight, so I don't mean to push sports betting, but if that's what you're into, if that's why you're here, because I know a lot of you fucking fiends are, I'd put money on Figueiredo money line. That's some pretty good value. Guys, this is it. The main event of the evening. Charlie do Bronx. Actually, it's not do Bronx Oliveira anymore. It's Predator Oliveira, which is an insane nickname to have. But, I mean, it definitely sounds a lot better in Portuguese. But, like, the Bronx is the Bronx, man. You know what I mean? Like, that nickname is so synonymous with him. I don't know what. Like, his fucking custom shorts are of the fucking favelas. So, I don't know what made him switch it. Like, when Tupuria was trying to switch his, like, bro, you're el matador. Like, that's who you are, bro. Just stick to it. Like, don't try to be different. But enough of the yapping because of a fucking nickname change. That's going to be weird if Bruce Buffer's there saying him not saying do Bronx. But he's going up against Mateusz Gamrot on short notice. It was supposed to be Fiziev, but Fiziev, I believe, got injured. And so this is a matchup that we have. And I will say I'm a lot happier that this is the matchup that we get instead of Fiziev, because Fiziev is kind of like he's kind of like what's this guy Roundtree, where he kind of looks or sounds more impressive than he actually is. He goes, the that kind of a little burst of speed, especially Fiziev, who's like, I guess Roundtree's smaller also for light heavyweight in terms of height, uh, he doesn't have a lot of power. But I would have still been conservative with Fiziev just because he does have good Muay Thai, and I think he could have maybe gotten the right shot and knocked Oliveira out. Gamrot's not gonna have as much of an advantage. I don't think he's gonna have an advantage anywhere actually. Maybe when it comes to pure wrestling, but we did see Oliveira have great success against Michael. It is Michael Chandler, but he had a lot of success in the wrestling department. I think he was able to show a different part of his game, a part that we haven't seen before, and it wasn't the most impressive performance against Chandler, but we saw a different aspect of his game. I'm not sure if Gamrot's going to be too willing to take Oliveira down. I mean, I think the two ways it could go is that Gamrot says, fuck it, I don't care. I don't care if he subs me on the ground. I'm going to take Oliveira down. Use his wrestling, which he's best at, to beat him. Or he's going to be scared to take him down. And in the striking, I think Oliveira is just going to look a lot more impressive. Dan Hooker is a good fighter when it comes to the striking, but I just think Oliveira is higher level than Dan Hooker when it comes to the striking. Not in terms of pure boxing, but in terms of Muay Thai, being able to use his strength to his advantage, which I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to see here. I mean, Mateusz Gamrot is a big lightweight in terms of mass compared to Oliveira. So I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to see those knees in the clinch with Oliveira, those elbows when he's leaving the clinch. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see that aspect of Oliveira's game, but I think if it stays in the center of the octagon and it's tit for tat, I think Oliveira, he's gonna have his. That's the thing. Like, is he gonna have his chin up there? Like, is he gonna be a little more kind of safe when it comes to the striking because he landed that great knee against or not knee, that elbow against Topuria, which if this was against Gamrot, he would have fucking put him down. Lights out. Good night, Oliveira. Give me that 50K. But is he gonna be that aggressive against Gamrot? I think he should be. That's his fight style. Gamrot hasn't really proved to have that kind of knockout power. I mean, he did knock out Fiziev, and he did look pretty good in the striking events. Klein in his last fight. So, like I said, I could see it going those two ways that I talked about. But I don't know if Gamrot even still is going to be able to hold Oliveira down. Oliveira does like to be on his back, so he could just say fuck it and stay on his back. So I could see Gamrot maybe getting a round off of Oliveira if he does stick to the wrestling, which he's good at. These guys are pretty similar in age, so I don't think that'll be a big factor. I think the biggest concern for me is if Oliveira has his chin. And I will say, I've been talking shit about Gamrot's striking. It is pretty decent. It's a lot better than I think what people are giving him credit for. And at least also in terms when it comes to pure boxing. So that part kind of concerns me. And, we could see if Oliveira's chin's gone completely. I'm afraid that might be the case. But you already know, bro. Charlie, do Bronx. Yes, bro. Like, I'm not gonna pick against Charles Oliveira. You just can't, especially against fucking Mateusz Gamrot, who has been like he beat quote unquote beat Arman Tsarukyan. He fucking lost to Arman Tsarukyan. Like, if you go back and watch that fight, he lost against Arman Tsarukyan. Both were good fights. I mean, both in terms of Oliveira and Gamrot when they both fought Tsarukyan, they were both close fights. But I think Charles Oliveira is gonna get it done. But yeah, that was my predictions for UFC Fight Night in Rio. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned because I got a lot more coming out. So I'll see you next time. Peace.